The journey to a growth mindset, a growth, the journey to a growth mindset. In chapter 7, I talked about the false growth mindset. If you remember, my colleague Suzanne Mackey was encountering people who claimed to have a growth mindset but who, upon closer inspection, did not once alerted. I started seeing false growth mindset everywhere and I understood why it was happening. Everyone wants to seem enlightened in the know, maybe as a parent, educator, coach, or business professional. Having a growth mindset was expected or admired. Or maybe it was my fault. Did I make the change to a growth mindset seem too easy so that people did not realize that a journey was required? Or maybe people did not know how to take the journey. So let's talk more about that journey. The journey step 1. You will surprised to hear me say this. The first step is to embrace your fixed mindset. Let's face it. Let's face it. We all have some of it. We are all mixture of growth and fixed mindsets, and we need to acknowledge that. It's not a shameful admission. It's not more like welcome to the human race, but even though we have to accept that some fixed mindset dwells within, we do not have to accept how often it shows up and how much havoc it can reap when it does. The journey step 2. The second step is to become aware of your fixed mindset triggers. When does your fixed mindset persona come home or roost? Number 1 point, it could be when you are thinking about taking on a big new challenge. Your fixed mindset persona might appear and whisper, maybe you don't have what it takes and everyone will find out. Second, it could be when you are struggling with something and you keep hitting dead ends. Your fixed mindset persona might fly in the offer its advice. Give it up. It's just making you feel frustrated and ashamed. Do something easier. Third point, how about when you feel like you have failed decisively, lost your job, lost a cherished relationship, messed up in a very big way? It's rare person who does not have a fixed mindset episode, and we all know very well what that fixed mindset says to us. You are not the person you thought you were, and you never will be. What about when you encounter someone who's a lot better than you in the very area you pride yourself on? What does that fixed mindset voice say to you? Does it tell you that you will never be as good? Does it make you hate that person just a little? What about our fixed mindset towards others? If we were educators, what happens after a high-stake test? Do we judge who's smart and who's not? If we are managers, what happens during the after a big report project? Do we judge our employees? Talent, employees' talent. If we were parents, do we pressure our kids to prove they're smarter than others and make them feel judged based on their grades and test scores? Think about it when it's a recent time You were triggered into a fixed mindset. What happened to someone your fixed mindset persona? What did it whisper in your ear, and how did you make it you feel? When I ask people to tell me when their fixed mindset persona usually shows up, here's what they say. When I'm under pressure, my fixed mindset persona appears. He fills my head with noise and keep me from paying attention to the work I have to do. When I feel like I can't accomplish anything, feelings of anxiety and sadness also attract him. He attempts to weaken me when I'm already feeling down. He makes commit comments like, you don't have the ability to grasp difficult concept. You have to reach your limit. You have reached your limit. By the way, this was a woman who thought of her fixed mindset persona as a male. Whenever I demonstrate my laziness through procrastination, whenever I disappoint someone, whenever I am too shy to talk to any anyone at a party, my fixed mindset persona shows up. He tells me your failure does not define you. Of course, he yells the failure and whispers the rest. Whenever I feel to live up to the image that she, my fixed mindset persona, concocted for me, she makes me feel stressed, defensive, and unmotivated. She does not allow me to take risks that may affect our reputation as a successful person. She does not let she doesn't let me speak out for fear of being wrong. She forces me to look like a person who can understand and do everything effortlessly. When we have a work deadline and my team is under the gun, my fixed mindset persona sits in a judgment. Instead of empowering my team, I become a harping perfectionist. No one is doing it right. No one is working fast enough. Where all are those breakthrough ideas? We will will never make it. As a result, I often just take over and do a lot of my work myself. Needless to say, it does not do wonderfuls for team morale. We will hear more from this team and leader and one of his team leader in a moment, as you can come to understand your triggers and get to know your persona. Don't judge it, just observe it. The journey, third step. Now, give your fixed mindset persona a name. You heard me correctly. I watched Susan Mackey work with financial executive who had given their fixed mindset persona names. They were talking about what triggers their personas, and top guy said, when we are in a church, when we are in a crunch, Dwayne shows up. He makes me super critical of everyone, and I get bossy and demanding rather than supportive. A female team member quickly responded, yes. And when your Dwayne shows up, my Inani comes roaring out. Inani is the macho guy who makes me feel incompetent. So, your Dwayne brings out of my Inani, and I become cowering and anxious, which infuriates Dwayne. And on went this amazing conversation these sophisticated professionals talked about when their named persona shows up, how it made them feel and act, and how it affected others around them. By the way, once they were able to understand each other's triggers and personas, they could move their interactions to another level, and the morale in this unit went up by leaps and bounds. Every fall, I teach a freshman seminar. 16 brand new Stanford students, very eager and very nervous. Each week, I give them a different assignment for a short paper. Find something important about yourself and you would like to change and take the first step. Do something outrageously growth mindset in the service of you did like to change. Project yourself 25 years into the future and write me a letter about where you are in life and all the struggles, disappointments, and hardship and failures you have been encountered along the way. This year I tried a new one. In a past, I had assigned a paper that asked students to reflect on their mindset, and I did always had a few of them lying claim to a long standing and total growth mindset. But this year I asked them to identify their fixed mindset and know triggers and to give their fixed mindset persona a name. It was fascinating. Not one student claimed to have no triggers or persona. All of them were able to write eloquently and painful about their fixed mindset persona, its triggers, and its impact. Meet meet Jared Ger, Gertrude, Gertrude, my KG chronic self aggrandized fixed mindset persona she makes into my subconscious and under undermines me. The game Gertrude means strong spirit, which reflects her insistence on unwavering natural strength. She detests hard work, second place, and imperfections, and whiff of failure of imperfection can trigger stereotype interest. These seconds slower in a swim race, not shot at varsity team, did not draw as a good self-portrait as another girl in my class. Art is not your thing. Couldn't use as many big words as my older sister. You will never be as smart as her. Gertrude convinced me that failure is definitive. One mistake can take away my future success. Almost like marriage, I knew sugar daddy will be almost like marriage. I knew sugar daddy be will be with me through thicks and thicks, sickness and health, and life and death. He comes forth when I step out of my comfort zone, get criticized or experience a failure, causing me to become defensive, lash out at others, or stagnate. Sugar Daddy finds peace in never leaving his comfort zone, but his view conflict more and more with mine as rigid guidelines try to keep me boxed in this standstill world. Failure, especially public failure, is my main fixed mindset triggers that when Henrietta comes out. She's my critical grandmother. And in the fixed mindset, I remind myself more of her than I did care to admit. My hidden persona is quickly to blame others to preserve her ego. She rejects failure instead of embracing it and makes me worry what that if anyone ever sees me fail, they will deem me as a failure. As they will deem me a failure. My fixed mindset persona is Z, the mirror image of my first initial S. Z shows up when I least require her, like after a failed attempt, a rejection, or missed opportunity. I have always been an avid writer, the editor of my high school newsletter, and the author of a new published novel. So, when the chance to be a part of the Stanford Daily, the school newspaper, arrived, I was thrilled to apply. I work hard